The first trip here of the year for the Giants to take on their rivals.
LA pitcher making his MLB debut after coming from Double-A. He's held San Francisco scoreless as the Dodgers take a fifth inning lead.
There goes Tyro, but it falls.
But then something wacky happened.
Deep left field. It is off the wall.
Well, the stadium thought it was a home run. The lights went out and started blinking like they do when they hit home runs.
I think my favorite part here is Chris Siegel rotated at second base being like, what just happened?
What is the rule if right in the middle of the play the lights go out?
I wonder what the call would be if another run had scored, because Crawford misses that because the lights went off.
That's a great question.
It is a good question. As Kapler waits, umpires get together by the way, love the matching hats. They should join forces like this more often, like throwback days, have umpire throwbacks uniforms. What do you think? Light failure is one of the only times an umpire can call time while the ball is in play. And the basis is if the umpire, not the player, but the umpire can't follow the play due to the light failure. The remedy is not specifically covered in the rule, which brings Elastic Clause 801C into the picture. I think the fairest thing to do in the situation would be nullify the act, that act being the lights going out.
I wonder what the call would be if another run had scored, because Crawford misses that because the lights went off.
For this particular play, I think the lead runner Mookie was already home, so he scores. But let's say R1, now standing on third base, suddenly takes off for home because Crawford dropped the ball. I think the fair thing to do, light failure, call time, and put that runner back on third base. That's the nullify the act. I think that's fair in the Elastic Clause. Umpire has authority to do that. It's considered light failure, even though we all know it was an accidental overexuberance that caused this. But cobbling rules 512B2 and 801C together, that is the most equitable and just outcome for this play.
Mookie Betts, one of the very best right fielders in the game.
Rookie pitcher Sheehan is working on a no-hitter through 6 innings. No thanks in small part to Mookie.
Wow.
They take the rookie out anyway. Of course, the new person gets a Scherzer violation warning. The Dodgers do that. Do all pitchers in this league have an aversion to backing up their catchers on plays at the plate? I digress. You asked us about this play that happens next.
3-2. Bases loaded, 2 down. 8th inning. And
the pitcher does this before the umpire calls time. The bases are loaded. The question, why is this not a balk?
No, that wasn't time. That was a disengagement.
Ordinarily, this is a balk for starting to go from stretch to set and then stopping before stepping off. That's a balk. But here, it's not, and here's why. I initially thought this request by the batter for time caused the pitcher to start-stop. It actually looks like the catcher threw off the pitcher here more than anything else. I think this should have been a balk. But let me talk about the rule I was going to talk about had the batter's action come before the pitcher's action, which is that the batter cannot cause a balk.
3-2. Bases loaded, 2 down. 8th inning. And yes.
This is the only part of the rulebook that has a remedy of do-over. If the batter's late request for time causes the pitcher to violate the balk rule, it's not a balk. You start over from scratch. Call time, reset everything. No harm, no foul. That said, for this play, I probably still have start-stop because the pitcher looked to do it first, as opposed to the batter causing it. It was charged as a disengagement here, though.
No, that wasn't time. That was a disengagement. The rookie, that is definitely ball 4. Crawford lines one into right center field.
After the Giants take the lead in extras, we have a pitch-com problem.
Some pitch-com issues that ran out of battery.
One of these days, this system will finally work, although it appears everyone's forgotten how to do the hand signals. Also, for some umpire positioning work, we have a tag-up play going into third.
On the throw.
Everyone's different. Moscoso position adjusts to the foul line. Some people might prefer where the base coach is to get the daylight, but remember, you also want to see the leading edge of the base for the foot. The important thing here is an umpire moves to work the play for a spot that works for them, and Moscoso does that onto the foul line, gets in position, hustles, and makes the correct call.
Typically.
And now for something really special.
That's a pop-up on the infield.
It's going to be Schmitt from third, and he dropped the ball. Oh my goodness, and now he throws it away. What in the world is Casey Schmitt doing?
Now the Dodgers will have 2 at third.
Betts trying to get back to the bag. What a circus.
Patrick Bailey will flip to Junis, who tags out Busch. Betts ends up at third, and that's one of the craziest plays in the history of the game.
And that was the worst base running in the history of the game.
History repeats itself, right? Not an infield fly situation, no one's on first base. Infield grass fly ball like this, that's the plate umpire's responsibility.
Hustling, but still.
Once it's dropped, everyone has to look where the next throw is going to be. That's going to be to first base, or past first base. First base umpire gets ready, and then importantly signals safe for the boundary call. Thanks to the protective netting, those balls aren't going to go out of play anymore. So the ball stays on the field, the safe call confirms that.
Oh my God.
While that's going on, second, third base umpires have base touches while the plate umpire looks toward third for any funky business on the way to the plate. What's the third base coach doing down there? But you need to look. If he draws a throw by being there, that is a rules violation, and you can call interference for that.
And Busch getting hung out to dry, thinking he was going to go home. Mookie Betts.
Lead runner stopping, trail runner continuing, so we're going to have a situation. 3 umpires involved. Moscoso at third base is the pivot. Remember, this is not a force play, so that means that this is going to be the lead runner is entitled to have the base situation if we do end up with 2 runners on the base at the same time. Second base umpire Rackley ready if necessary. Watch home plate umpire Tomlinson activate as soon as the ball's thrown home and slowly trail the play up the third baseline. Now we're looking for potential obstruction type A if the fielder without the ball gets in the runner's base path and prevents their advancement or retreat. Like, as crazy as this play is for the teams, the umpires have a lot to do as well. And third base umpire Moscoso has responsibility for that runner being tagged by that fielder close to third base and then calling the other one safe when he arrives at third and is tagged.
Freeman strikes out swinging. What a win for the Giants tonight in LA.